It's Monday. This is a story called The Little Monsters, chapter 144. The kids get expelled from school for something they didn't do. It's Monday and the kids have just arrived at school when some new kids come over and ask them where the school office is. "Come on, I'll show you," said Kicker. There was a new standing headmaster as Mrs. Scott had gone on maternity leave, and when he saw the kids he asked them what they were doing, so Kicker said, "These lot are new and they asked me where the school office was, so I showed them, sir." "Okay, sweetheart, what's your name?" "My name's Lucy, but everyone knows me as Kicker, sir," answered Kicker. "Okay, well you can go now. Go outside and join your friends until the bell goes. "While registration, please," said the new headmaster, Mr. Clegg. Just as Mr. Clegg said that, the school bell went and both him and Kicker laughed, and he told her to make her way to registration. She did as she was told, and it turned out that the new kids were in her form class, and they transferred from another school. What no one realised is that these kids were trouble, and they were worse than the Frighteners gang. One day Grumpy saw them picking on the quads in their part of the school, even though they shouldn't be there, and he tells Kicker. Kicker sneaked over there and she said to them, "Oi, you lot, leave them little kids alone." "What's it got to do with you, Kicker?" asked Eliza, one of the new kids. "They're my brothers and sisters, that's what it's got to do with me, so leave them alone," answered Kicker. "No, we won't, so mind your own business, Kicker," said Mark, one of the new kids. "This is my business. Besides, you're 12 years old and they're only 5. So why are you picking on them?" said Kicker. Just at that moment, a teacher came over and said, "What are you lot doing in this part of the school when you know you're not supposed to be?" "They were picking on the quads, sir," said Kicker. "Is this true?" the teacher asked the new kids. "No, sir," answered Eliza. "Right, I don't know what's going on here, but it stops now. Now, you older kids, get back to your own part of the school, please," said Mr. Stocky. Later that day, Mr. Clegg left his office and the new kids went in and stole £2,000 and then planted it on the gang. Then they sneaked into the canteen and took some really sharp knives. Then they went round randomly stabbing 3 kids. Then they planted the knives in the gang's lockers. The 3 injured kids were found by staff and rushed to hospital. Everyone was called into the assembly hall and Mr. Clegg said, "I'm sure you're all aware by now that Paul Pease, Sarah Lettice and Joanne Banana have all been stabbed and are in hospital. Also, £2,000 has been stolen from my office. If anyone knows who did this, please come to my office after the assembly and tell me. I'll let you know how Sarah, Joanne and Paul are doing. In the meantime, I will be coming to each class to speak to you all." That day after assembly, the 4 new kids went to Mr. Clegg's office and Clara said, "Sir, when the Little Monsters gang went in their lockers and put their bags in, they had a load of money and knives in there, and some of the knives were covered in blood." "Right, thank you for telling me. You can go now," said Mr. Clegg. Mr. Clegg called the gang's parents to get them to come to the school, and then he called the police. When the gang's parents and the police arrived, he told them what Clara had told him, and then he got the gang to his office. When the gang arrived, Mr. Clegg said, "I believe you kids have got knives with blood on them and a lot of money in your lockers and bags." "The money's ours, sir. We all brought £100 each, and mine's from my birthday money, sir, said Kicker. Well, I want to see what's in your lockers and your bags right now this minute, please, said Mr. Clegg. Everyone made their way to the kids' lockers, and when they got there, the money and the knives were in there. They're not ours, sir. We don't know where the money and the knives have come from, sir, said Stumpy. Oh, you know, Stumpy, and you're all in serious trouble, said Mr. Clegg. They all went back to Mr. Clegg's office. When they got there, he caned the kids hard across their bums with their parents' permission, and then their dads hit them hard with their belts, also across their bums. Then Mr. Clegg said to them, "You are now permanently expelled from this school. Collect your belongings and leave the school premises, and don't come back." "But sir, we didn't do anything. It wasn't us, sir. I swear it wasn't," sobbed Kicker. "I don't want to hear another word from you lot. Just collect your things and leave, please," said Mr. Clegg. The kids did as they were told, but before they left the school premises, the police arrested them and took them to the station, where they were charged with assault and theft. They were all sent home on bail with their parents. As soon as they got there, their parents told them that they were grounded until further notice, and that they weren't allowed to see or contact each other during that time. Then they were sent to their rooms. As soon as they got there, they packed as many of their clothes and belongings as they could into a bag. Then they grabbed all their money, their passports and their bank books, climbed out their bedroom windows, grabbed their bags and met at the hideout. When they got there, they decided that they were going to travel to France by ferry. That day they left their bags tied up and hidden away in the hideout, and then they got the bus into town. When they got there, they caught the train to the ferry port, bought their tickets and then booked the ferry. They travelled overnight and some of the next day, and when they arrived in France, they decided to get the train into the countryside. When they got there, they found an empty farmhouse and went inside. There was already loads of food in there, so they had something to eat, and then they went out to have a look around. Whilst they were out, they realised that they weren't too far from the city centre. From the city, they spotted a bus stop, and it turned out that there were 3 buses that went into town, and each one was every 15 minutes. The kids also saw that the buses dropped them off directly opposite the bus stop into town. They walked a bit further and found a shopping centre, and directly opposite there was a massive indoor and outdoor water park. A bit further down there was a huge skate park with bike tracks, so they went down. When they got there, they decided to buy themselves a new skateboard so that they wouldn't have to borrow one. They spent a couple of hours there, and then they went back to the farmhouse. Excuse me. When they got there, they watched TV and played games for a while, and then they all went to bed. The next day, they spent a few hours at the water park, and then they went to the amusements for a while. Then they dropped their stuff off at the farmhouse and got the bus into town. When they got there, they looked around for a bit, and then they went to see the Railway Children at the cinema. After the film had finished, they paid to watch another film, and after that, they went back to the farmhouse. When they got there, Stumpy said, I don't know about you lot, but I'm never going home ever. Not after the way we've been treated. Everyone agreed with Stumpy, and then Kicker said, I don't believe they'd think that we could hurt anyone like that and steal. I could never do that. Excuse me. I know it's stupid. I say that we stay here in this house for as long as possible, said Grumpy. After they'd been in France for a month and 2 days, they finally put the news on TV, and they saw their parents appealing for their safe return. A few days later, they went out to do a bit of shopping when they spotted a woman pointing them out to the police outside the supermarket. They quickly grabbed their shopping and ran as fast as they could with the police not far behind them. They ran into some woods which thankfully led them straight to the farmhouse they were staying in, and they managed to lose the police. They stayed at the farmhouse until it was dark, and they didn't leave until they were sure it was safe for them to leave. They left the farmhouse about 8 p.m. and went further into the countryside. When they got there, they found another farmhouse that was derelict. They made sure that there was no one around or in the house and went in. When they got in there, the place was massive with at least 12 bedrooms, all with ensuite. Every room in the house, both downstairs and upstairs, had blackout blinds and curtains in them, so they knew that no one would see them there. They stayed there for 2 weeks, and then they saw the woman who pointed them out to the police. They quickly ran back to the house, closed all the blinds and curtains, and hid. They stayed there until really early the next day, and then they went to Paris. They stayed there for 6 weeks, and then one day Kicker burst into tears. When Bumpy asked her what was wrong, she said, I miss my mum and I want to go home. Kicker, you know if we go home we'll be arrested and we'll probably get sent down, said Stumpy. I know, Stumpy, but I miss my family, said Kicker, sobbing. We all miss our families, but it's like Stumpy said, if we go back we'll be arrested and sent to jail, Kicker, said Creeper. Then they put the TV on and they were on there again. Mr. Clegg, the police and their parents were all pleading for them to go home. They were saying that everything was okay and that they weren't in any trouble. As soon as they saw it, Kicker broke down in tears again and she said, I can't take this anymore, guys. Please let's go home. Then Creeper started crying and she said, I want to go home too. They all agreed that it was time to go home. They decided not to ring their parents and just to go home. When they all walked in through their front doors and their parents saw them, they grabbed them and cried whilst holding them in their arms. They called the police officer in charge of their case, and she asked if they could meet in one place so that she could talk to everyone together. They agreed to meet at Kicker's house. When they got there, the policewoman said, We know that it wasn't you guys who stole that money and stabbed those kids. It was the new kids. The kids who were hurt told us when they were well enough. You guys have been through hell and back, and we're truly sorry for that. We're just relieved that you guys are home and that you're all safe and well. I think that Mr. Clegg would like to talk to you too. Guys, I'm so sorry for the way I treated you. I should never have judged you that way. I should have listened to you from the start. Here's the £100 I took off each of you, and an extra £300. I hope you'll accept my apology and come back to school. You'll have a lot of work to catch up on, but you kids are very bright and I'm sure it won't take you long to catch up. I brought some of your work with me, but it's half term and there's no school this week. You don't have to do it until you go back to school on Monday morning. It's okay, sir. We don't mind starting now. We're sorry that we caused so much trouble and worry by running away, said Kicker. You're all home safe and well, and that's all that matters, Lucy, said Mr. Clegg. In no time at all, the kids caught up on all the work they'd missed, and they were back to their normal selves in no time at all. The end. Hope you like it, guys. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, please feel free to like, share, comment and subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, please feel free to like, share, comment and to go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, guys. Love yous. Bye.